guys, what's going on? This is Levi Apparel. Like and subscribe. I'm on my new phone today, and we're gonna do some lives. We're back at it again. Alright, I had to take some time off because I had a lot going on, so I couldn't focus on getting too many lives because I had to do some stuff. Anyways, excuses. If you're here, like and subscribe. Yeah. Alright, cool. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about sublimation success. Alright. I'm excited. I'm happy. The shop, they got a revamp. Thanks to my wife for helping out. It's good to be on good terms. And I got a new shelf. I think I'm gonna try to do I gotta clean the shop first, but I have to try to do one of those shop tours. My shop is tiny, so you probably won't see too much pizzazz because I went back to my original location. I revamped it. It doesn't look like my original videos. It looks a lot smaller, but it's actually bigger. And part of the reason why it looks smaller is because I have the EM1010 over there. That's at least I think a 24. No, it's like at least 24 foot, 24 inch wide print. Yeah, 24 by 24 inch wide feet. Like I'm talking about, it's 24 in inches, but that's the I don't know how to describe it. That's like the area that it takes from the shop, right? So that's 2 feet. By 2 feet, it just took away, right? And then, if you're here, like and subscribe. This is Levi Apparel, all right? Let me try and see if I can see the live chats, all right? So I haven't seen anybody saying hi, but if you're here, like and subscribe again. This is Levi Apparel, all right? We're gonna try our best to be consistent with this live around this time, Monday through Friday, or as long as I'm available. Alright, cool. So this is the minute for the channel, and we're basically going to be talking about lives. We're going to be talking about live for a minute. We're going to talk live about things that's going in the shop, positive and negative, things that need to happen so we can change it up if need be. Alright, but so I have some time to kill, and I'm just basically, chatting with you guys. If you don't know me, my name is, my government name is actually Whiskey Lewis, but my YouTube name, or my brothers who I was part of in the congregation, used to call me Moses. I go by Moses. I would prefer you call me Moses. That's basically me in a nutshell. What do I do for work? I work in the lab, at a hospital, and my main focus over there is patient care and quality, of special specimens being taken care of in that department. That's my regular life. It's pretty exciting. I get to see specimens from, I'll get grossed out. I know this is a t-shirt channel, but if you're grossed out, close your ears. But I deal with anything from your hair down to the bottom to the sole of your foot. All that I get to actually see, prep, ready for testing and all that. So whether it's leg, arm, feet. So that's what I do in my regular life. I'm in the lab, and Anyways, but this is a lot more exciting. The reason why is because I have control. I work for somebody in the lab, so definitely I don't control. It's whatever they say, you know. But with this, having my own little t-shirt business, my own little YouTube channel. My background in art is this. I went to art school Boston. I did a lot of courses in there and everything. I dabble in a lot of different media when it comes to art. I had gone to, like, in school, in high school, I had gone to like the final stage of art, AP art, advanced placement art, or whatever. Anyway, so that was like the last level, and I consider myself okay in it, even though I did take mastery levels. I consider myself okay because with any talent you have, you need to practice it, and I don't practice it as much as I should be. So the only way I'm able to actually partake in learning and continue to grow in this craft that I have learned and actually am talented in somewhat is by having this t-shirt biz. It allows me to do graphic designing. It allows me to actually draw something, because if I can't find it, now I have to make it myself. And knowing how to use Adobe, Apparel. My favorite software to use is Pixlr, Apparel Draw, and what else? Oh, believe it or not, Silhouette Studio, because with Silhouette Studio you can manipulate certain things to do certain drawings and whatnot, right? So there's a lot you can do with those three, Pixlr, Apparel Draw, and Silhouette Studio. Those are my three main things that I use on this channel. I do use Adobe Illustrator, however, I try not to focus on it because there's a lot of buttons and tricks and stuff, and for some reason every year Adobe comes out with a new version. They give you less and less shortcuts. Like, that's what I've noticed as far as what I've gotten. And sometimes if you don't actually go and learn the actual, if you don't take classes and learn about these shortcuts, if you don't remember them, it's hard for you to use them. Like, yeah, I was trying to do something. Yeah, so it is what it is. Sorry, my stream keeps going in and out. So if you see me pausing, that's the reason why. Alright, now to stay on focus, what we're really talking about is sublimation. Now, I did 2 videos, and I have yet to do a regular sublimation paper on this Canon 1220G. I'll say ecotank. I think Canon has a different name for it, but I'll call it ecotank. And the reason why I'm calling it ecotank is it behaves just like the Epson ecotank printers. It has a well where you just fill in each different types of ink, and once it receives those inks, what it does is it takes it through a tube, and that tube funnels over the ink to an empty like cartridge, and that cartridge just, whatever ink goes into it, that's what it prints, right? So yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell when it comes to like the ecotank. It's not really all that fancy. It's just what Canon did was basically, what Canon did was basically do what we've been doing in the t-shirt biz, the apparel business for a while, which is use a CIS system, right? Continual ink system. When we in the print industry do that, what we do is we reconfigure the printer from doing what it usually does to doing something different. So with the CIS system, all it is a cartridge that fills up with ink that's empty, right? Since the cartridge is empty and has a hole where it can be continually refilled with ink with a chip that's usually telling the printer, don't say you've run out of ink. Always say that you have ink. So once you have that chip in there and then you have the refillable ink cartridge, you can continually just keep loading the ink and not have to worry about switching cartridges ever again, right? So that was the original principle of how this got started. So now somebody took the cartridge to another level and added a hose to the cartridge connected to a ink well, which is basically 4 or more platforms of wells or cylinder space that has a hole connecting the hose from the ink well to the printer refillable cartridges. And when the ink would try to go low, because of the suction system that's in there, it pulls the ink from the ink well, pushes it to the ink cartridges, refills it, hence refillable ink cartridges. So that was the whole principle of what we in the printing industry used to do, and some of us are still doing it with printers that are not ecotank, right? But what the manufacturers have done is they've seen these videos. I'm pretty sure they've seen these videos, and I'm pretty sure a lot of printers have gotten returned. And when somebody probably left the refillable cartridge in there, when they got it printing and got it all set, they said, wait a minute, these guys, they're changing how this printer is used and making it even more efficient. How can we duplicate this, right? That's what I'm guessing happened. Probably something different. But I mean, there's so much video out there, like there's no way the manufacturers then take a and be like, wait a minute, it's not our printer? What, did this guy just print 1,000 pages non-stop without having to change the cartridge? Wow, right? So from the continuous ink system platform, right, they've been able to just do something that's revolutionary, which is basically combine that whole system into one and then create a new ink printer, right? That's basically the ecotank right there. It's a continuous ink system, a CIS system. That's all it is. So now us in the printing industry, we saw this and said, wait a minute, because we're always looking for new printers, because eventually that printer you're using, the software is going to wear out. The printer is going to wear out. The print head is going to wear out. So you always have to have print head on supply. You always have to have new ink on supply. And always, sometimes, if you can, an extra printer laying there, unopened box, brand new, waiting just in case the printer you have goes kapooski, or fails. So Canon has stepped up, and I'm pretty sure this printer is a lot older than when I'm making it, but I just bought it, so for me it's brand new. So yeah, they've stepped up and they created this this is my wording, this ecotank format type of printer where it's continuous ink. As long as you can fill the ink well, you can use it as many times as you want. Now here's the benefit. If your ink is ever low, as long as you have ink ready and available, all you have to do is just fill it up, turn it back on, and it continuously print. There's a sensor, I believe, in there. If you open any of the hoods to put ink in it, it stops everything automatically to make sure that ink doesn't get lost or issues doesn't happen in the printing process. So yeah, like, and then you fill up the ink, you resume printing. That's it. This is one of the best features ever. I just wanted to take a little bit of time to just talk about it. It's beautiful, it's wonderful. However, there's a possibility I may be getting a big one, because I don't want to just do 8 by 8.5 by 11.5, you know, wide printing. I want to do like bigger printing, because having a 13 by 19 printer is my dream right now. Like, with 13 by 19, like, I just print once instead of twice, you know, for a full chest. The reason why I want to have this printer is because I don't ever want to have an incomplete print shop, right? If somebody is asking me for a sports shirt, I want to be able to just take some sublimation ink and go on that shirt and be like, yo, there you go. Why sublimation compared to screen printing, heat transfer, vinyls, and all those, and even BTF? Right? Because I have all those. You have different tools for different projects, right? So if you were to play basketball, you want to be wearing cleats, you know, sports shoes that have those little spikes in it, because there's no soft ground to walk on. It's hard, so you need basketball shoes, right? That allow you to have enough edge, footing, you know, shoes that can hug to the ground, allow you to not slip, so you can actually dribble the ball, cross somebody, run to the court, make your shot, you know. But in like football, you want to have like cleats, shoes that have spikes in them and stuff, because if you're running and you have a shoes that was meant for running on hard surface, you're going to slip on the grass and you won't be able to hug the grass to make a tackle, or even to run far enough to be able to grab the ball or whatever, right? Or dodge somebody, because you're slipping all over the place and you don't have enough footage on the ground to how can I describe this? You don't have enough leverage to actually make moves and maneuvers to do what you need to, so you can, you know, get the ball, whatever. So yeah, so the reason why I'm using that analogy is because different tools for different apparel or print process. So if I'm doing a sport shirt, vinyl is okay if it's just a letter, numbers and letters, fine. But if I want to slap images onto that, good luck, because that image is going to be big, it's going to be solid, and if you think about it, a lot of people tend to wash their clothes with detergents that's not really friendly to the printing process, you know, when you lay an image on there. So sublimation is the next best thing. And like I said, the reason why I want the big printer is because I mean, right now I'm dealing with a small printer. I'm able to print multiple prints, stack them up together, so I can get that large print that I want. I don't necessarily need to get a big printer, but I want one to just give me that ease and time so I can relax. All right. With that said, being able to do all over t-shirts is the goal. I do currently have somebody that gave me, I think, a good amount of shirts to do all over prints. Excuse me. So the video that you saw with me testing and checking out the printer to see if it actually works, that's me prepping for this job that's coming up, you know? And it's going to be a big job, so I've been like doing my due diligence to make sure that I get myself set and ready, because if this goes well, this guy may ask for a whole lot more shirts. And again, that's why I want the big printer, so I can be ready for it. After I had stopped the live, I was trying to convert my hands out. I need to get beat up with some lotion right now. So with trying to convert like I said before, the previous live that I had done was me trying to convert the HPT 100. I was excited. I really wanted to do that. And the HPT 100 takes the refillable cartridges I had purchased. There was nothing wrong with the cartridges. The only issue I had was whenever the printhead would try to print, it would heat up the print before to warm it up, so once it hits the paper, it's nice and dry. Now with sublimation utilizes heat to kind of evaporate or turn the ink into a gas, and then from turning it into a gas, that's how you get the shirt to be dyed with the sublimation ink. And then once it dries up, all you have is just sublimation on the sublimation ink on the shirt, right? So had it had gone smoothly and without that issue, I would have been able to print large, like 24-inch wide sublimation sheets, where I could just take an all-white t-shirt and turn it into like whatever color I want, put images anywhere I want, but it didn't work out that way. So like I said, because the print head, once it's about to lay or lays the ink, it starts to heat up, and because of that, sublimation process was a no-go. Now, some people may have a different ink, printer may have different solutions to this, and may actually successfully do it, but for me, it was a no-go. So therefore, I could not make the HPT 100. Sorry, we got cut off. Yeah, during the testing process, it actually printed some of the ink, but there was like spaces and gaps and stuff like that. And last thing I want is to try to print like a full image and it doesn't come out well, you know. So looks like we have somebody here, Yeah, we have somebody. I don't really see anything being said, so it's cool. I'll just keep going. But yeah, so that's why it didn't work, because the printing process for sublimation is not the same for all printers. So some printers, printhead heats a lot earlier. The Canon, it doesn't really happen like that. So because of that, I couldn't use the HPT 100. But I looked on YouTube and saw some people using Canons for sublimation. I said, wait a minute. If they can use Canon, I have a Canon printer. I was gonna put it on the Pixma, I think it's the 16, the 1680 or whatever. It's a large printer. It's a 13 by 19 printer. I was gonna use that one, but I thought about it and I said, you know what? I'm on that printer. It kind of didn't accept it. Last thing I want is to be fighting with a printer to accept something that was not really meant for it and then mess up my printer. I like it. I use it mostly for some things on a pinch. If all my printers are having issues, I throw some heat transfers on there and I'm good to go. And I usually use it for like funerals when to just do regular heat transfer, slap it on the shirt, and then call it a day. And also I use it for my, what do you call it, what's that thing called again? Screen printed films. So I use it for my screen printed films. So I'm like, you know what, I really don't want to mess with this printer. It does a whole lot more, and I need a printer that's just regular printing ink, you know, nothing fancy. So if anything happens to this one, I can send it to the manufacturer and everything's good, right? So I couldn't use that printer, therefore I had to purchase another one. Now I do have a regular Sawgrass sublimation printer, but when it's you have with Sawgrass, that printer, every time I left it on, if I didn't do prints for like, let's say 3-4 weeks, you know, a month, maybe 2 months, by the time I come back, the ink is gone. I'm like, what the hell? And the reason why is because the printer has to constantly feed ink to itself to do testing to make sure the print heads are clear. Now that's perfect if I'm doing prints constantly, but I'm not doing prints constantly. I have a small shop. I'm like on demand. If you want it, you get it. If not, then it is what it is. And I don't get as much sublimation stuff done because not a lot of people know about sublimation or want a polyester shirt, because people still have that stigma about polyester being this thick shirt and yada yada. So I'm like, you know what, if I'm gonna get a printer, I need a printer that's not using my ink while it's just sitting there. You know, if the print heads need to be clean, I can do it myself. It's nothing hard. All it is just take, I use baby wipes and that thing works like a charm. Oh my God, I use it on my DTF printer. I use it on all my printers. Listen, if you have issues with your printers and it's not printing, take out the print head, baby wipe that thing, let it sit there for a minute so the moisture of the baby wipe can just get on it. It releases any type of gunk and ink that's on the print head. Little tip. All right, so yeah, like my lives are usually 30 minutes in case you're wondering. I'll go 35 the most, but yeah, so with the printer, with the Canon printer being so well and printing, and the fact that they create the print head in a way that it doesn't clog and all that stuff, like I said, you know what, this is a definite go. And I took it, but not after seeing how many YouTubers have a Canon. They don't have the one I have really per se. I've seen the reviews on it, but they've never done DTF ink on it. I mean, they've never done sublimation ink on it. Now, talking about DTF and sublimation, right? Do not put your DTF ink inside your ecotank printer. The reason why is because DTF ink has a tendency to clog print heads, and last thing you want is that printer to clog up, because the hose itself, even though you can get to it by taking it apart, you don't want to clog anywhere or mess up the printing process, right? I'll get a separate printer to do DTF printing, right? That's not ecotank, but uses refillable cartridges, all right? With removable print heads. All right, so back to the Canon. Yeah, so with the Canon printer, I didn't just print on sublimation paper. I tried it on regular paper. I tried it on DTF paper, film, to see what would happen. And after this live, I'm gonna throw some videos on there that's gonna show you what happens when you print on DTF paper. You know, the coated side, not the side that's glossy. The coated side, if you want to know if it's coated or not, all you do is you go to a corner of it, you scratch out the coat, it'll look a little white. and that's to just hold the ink in place. All right, the glossy side has no coat on it. It's just film or plastic, in other words. And you know, whenever you throw water or any type of liquid on plastic, it just seeps down. It doesn't stay on there. All right. So you want the coated side. But yeah, I use the DTF film to print sublimation on it without the powder. You don't want to do powder. After I was done with that, I used regular paper to see if it's possible. And the answer is yes, it is possible. You don't get as much of a vibrancy as you would if you were to use regular sublimation paper. But you can still sublimate with it. You know, if you want that kind of light look, not too dark, not too light, but just right there, slightly in the middle, they work. If you want all the ink to be released, you have to put the temperature a little bit higher, probably 400 degrees, and then you have to put it for at least 60 degrees. This is normal sublimation temperature, 60 degrees to like a minute of heat pressing time. All right. Some people go lower, some people go higher. On my video, I went lower on purpose to see how it would look like. Right? So the video, there's two videos I did. The DTF is short. The regular sublimation on the Canon 1220G is a little bit longer. But yeah, I use the Canon 1220G on all of them. It worked like a charm. The whole point was to see if the ink would sublimate, would leave to go on the shirt. The answer is yes. I do not recommend the DTF because the DTF, when I got it, it looked a little grainy. Because, you know, it's still, even though there's a coat on there, it's not as milky as the DTF ink. So it tends to look a little grainy because it's basically liquid. You know, the DTF ink is more like a paste kind of. So that's why there's a different look in it. You'll see it on the video. Time to go. This is Levi Apparel. Please like and subscribe. Again, I'm trying to get back into doing more lives and also more videos. As you can see, I'm putting 2 today. But things were a little bit shaky for me. I had some stuff going on from the family and all that. And I had to get back with the wife, revamping the shop. So yeah, it's Levi Apparel. Like and subscribe. All right. So I think we've reached the overtime. And yeah, so like and subscribe. It's Levi Apparel.